Hello relatives, welcome to this week's Resist Line 3. It's covering May 17th to 23rd. I think the graph says 24th, but actually to the 23rd. We release this every week at 7 p.m. Central right here. This week we're going to talk about actions to stop Line 3, some solidarity updates, and upcoming events. And remember, hashtag stop Line 3. Water protectors continue to disrupt construction on the Line 3 pipeline. On Saturday, May 22nd, 24 indigenous water protectors and allies sang, drummed, and prayed outside the gates of the Gowan pump station on the Line 3 pipeline route. In doing so, they delayed work for over an hour by preventing trucks from entering the site. Tasha Martineau, the Anishinaabe founder of Camp McGizzy, invited all present to reach down in a moment of pause and prayer to touch the earth, saying, "I want you to think about where your people come from. I want you to remember that before your ancestors came here, you were tribal people once too. You have connections to this land, the same as me. We have connections to one another. Beneath our hands, inside this earth, this isn't a natural resource. She's the only source we have." Earlier this week, Camp McGizzy shared that Enbridge is having trouble filling the jobs needed for the Line 3 and Line 4 projects. They encouraged workers not to comply with the union demands to work on the projects, saying, "Demand ethical work. We support union workers. We want you making the funds needed to feed your families. We're more than willing to hunt, gather, and share the fruits of our harvest with you and your children. We want you fixing roads and building bridges. Demand ethical work from your higher-ups. Stand strong. Stand with us." Sunrise Movement stands with Indigenous peoples. On Saturday, May 22nd, the Sunrise Movement held a National Day of Action in solidarity with Indigenous peoples. In St. Paul, Minnesota, activists demonstrated outside of the governor's mansion, demanding that Governor Walz honor the treaties and stop Line 3. Ride for the Rivers. Shanae Matson and other water protectors finished their Ride for the Rivers this week, after completing a bike ride from Superior, Wisconsin to Fargo, North Dakota along the entire proposed Line 3 route, through Minnesota to convene with the landscape and waters Line 3 would cross if completed. This week they visited and were hosted by both the Wild Rice Protector Camp and the Red Lake Treaty Camp. Along the ride, they were harassed by police who tracked them on social media and met them at work sites along their daily routes. On May 17th, Cass County sheriffs followed them into Herbert County, working alongside Enbridge's private security company, Securitas, to block roads near the Big Swamp River crossing. Officers told Shanae the roads were temporarily closed for public safety, though there was presently no construction occurring at the site. Sheriffs issued Shanae and one of her companions citations. Solidarity updates. Because our struggles are intersectional and our liberation entwined. Moving forward together for our relatives. MMIW 5K. On Sunday, May 23rd, Indigenous activists and community members in Rapid City, South Dakota held a 5K walk and run to build strength, draw awareness, and extend solidarity and support in the fight against the national epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous women and relatives. Direct action against Mountain Valley Pipeline. On May 18th, an activist locked down inside a vehicle blockading access to the Mountain Valley Pipeline worksite in Pembroke, Virginia. Over a dozen people gathered on site in support. The Mountain Valley Pipeline is a 42-inch diameter, 300-plus mile fracked gas pipeline that runs from northern West Virginia to southern Virginia, with a 70-mile extension into North Carolina. For years, activists have resisted MVP with tree sits and other direct actions. The project is currently 3.5 years behind schedule, several $billion over budget, and is still missing key permits from numerous agencies. Judge allows Dakota Access Pipeline to continue operating during environmental review. On May 21st, federal judge James Boasberg concluded he did not have authority to shut down DAPL while the Biden administration carries out an environmental review. Boasberg previously ordered the pipeline be shut down, a decision that was later overturned on an appeal. He now blames the Army Corps of Engineers for allowing the continued flow of oil through a pipeline that lacks the necessary federal authorization to cross a key waterway of agricultural, industrial, and religious importance to several Indian tribes. Black activists in Minneapolis issue eviction notice to Northern Metals for environmental racism. On Tuesday, May 18th, community organizers gathered in front of Northern Metals, a multinational corporation with a history of causing environmental damage to working class and predominantly black communities. The residents brought their own eviction notice and were met with a director of security from the site who was unable to answer several of their health and safety concerns. Fairy Creek blockade heats up. Forest defenders in unceded Pachida and DT territories in so-called Canada fought hard for old-growth forests this week from multiple locations in the Fairy Creek blockade. Continuous blockades, including roadblocks and tree sits, have run throughout the week among crackdowns by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. On May 22nd, activists reported 20 arrests from Waterfall Camp, where they are holding down a last stand to protect the headwaters of Fairy Creek. Solidarity marches and legal support actions continue across the region. Upcoming events. On May 26th, the 1,000 Grandmother Movement of the Bay Area will host Grandmother to Grandmother, Stop the Line 3 Pipeline, a gathering in front of Governor's Mansion in St. Paul, Minnesota to demand that Governor Walz and President Biden use their power to stop Line 3. Also on May 26th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m., Men IPL will host a Soup and Singing to Stop Line 3 event to learn about the Treaty People Gathering, eat soup, and raise funds for Camp McGizzy. You can register for the event at tinyurl.com/soup singing. That's tinyurl.com/soup singing. On May 27th, Camp McGizzy will hold a women's gathering open to all women, two-spirit, trans, non-binary, queer, and femme-identifying individuals to join in sisterhood and uplift and care for one another. View the event on Camp McGizzy's Facebook page for more information. June 5th to 8th, a coalition of climate groups and water protectors are inviting all to come to northern Minnesota for the Treaty People Gathering, a mass mobilization to resist Line 3. You can sign up for the gathering and find resources and information at treatypeoplegathering.com. Said Don Goodwin this past week on an informational livestream about the upcoming gathering. These treaties have been ignored for so long that people think their violation is okay. It is not okay. Treaties are the supreme law of the land, and it's time people know that, learn that, and help us exercise our rights to fight against Line 3. Time to be bold, be brave, come stand with us. And we're going to cut to a 2-minute video it's talking about the Treaty People Gathering. Again, that's treatypeoplegathering.com. Let's take a look at that video.
Bonjour, I'm Nancy Bolio, and I'm the Northern Organizer for Minnesota 315, a co-founder of Rise Coalition. I am Bidwe Wigiju Gukwe Nandeshna Cause. Otherwise, my English colonized name is Tanya Abid.
Bonjour, Ginawa. Javoy Quain Dishna Cause Makwa and Dudame Godching and Dunchaba. My name is Tara Haska. I'm Bear Clan from Couchiching First Nation.
Bonjour, Dabiki Gizas Gijikwe, Nandeshna Cause Nagachi and I can do Magazine Autumn.
Bonjour, Gagayashi, Kindishnakaz, Gawaba, Biganika, Gandunjaba, Anishinaabe, Gidao, Mainga, Nindudame. My name is Everlasting Wind. I live here in White Earth, and I'm a member of the Wolf Clan, Maingan.
Anine, it's Winona LaDuke, and we're going to invite you to the Treaty People Gathering.
Taking place June 5th through the 8th.
In 1854 and 1855, our people signed a treaty. And in those treaties, we retained our inherent rights to hunt, fish, and gather. Climate change affects our treaty guarantee because that puts our Anishinaabe lifeways at risk.
I am encouraging non-native allies to come and check out what it means to be treaty people and to uphold your side of the treaty also.
1 out of 3 Indigenous women go raped, go missing, or end up murdered. And when infrastructure such as KXL, Line 3, Line 4, and Line 5 are built, there's a 22% increase to those statistics that we as Indigenous women are already facing.
You're not just being asked to come as a kind of like eco-tourist, right? You're being asked to come and stand with the earth and to come and stand with us and to stand up for someone who's not yet here.
Our ancestors made agreements to take care of this water and land forever together. And now is our time to do that.
Together we will rise, protect, and stop Line 3 and protect all that is sacred. Miigwech.
We look forward to seeing all of you on the front line.
All right, everybody, that was this week's episode. Don't forget that if you want to join the movement, go to tinyurl.com tinyurl.com/resistline3. That's tinyurl.com/resistline3. We'll see you next week.